like I should. Okay. Okay. Whoa, that is way too many calories. I can't eat that, and I look so fat right now. I'm not going out like this. Are some of the things people with eating disorders say on a regular basis. I would like to persuade you into thinking that people with eating disorder have a distorted reality. They are very obsessed with food, and the emotional and physical risks involved with having an eating disorder. We'll get into all that, but first let's talk about their distorted reality and how it becomes their own personal reality. Okay, so people with eating disorder think that any fat on their body is not a good thing. They think it means that they are obese, but actually in reality, fat keeps you warm in the winter, and it helps you not bruise as easily if you fall. And then people with eating disorder are also highly prone to judging. They judge people more than the normal person without an eating disorder would, because they just can't really see what's past the outside, and it kind of makes them feel better about themselves. And then they also don't realize that they have the worst point of view of their body. Like looking down, you can see all the you can just see everything on your body, like all the fat. But if you ever look at yourself sideways or straight on in the mirror, you realize that that's actually not what other people see at all. And then this quote from Van Hoogen is, "There has been a rise in incidence of anorexia in young women 15 to 19 in each decade since the 1930s. The incidence of bulimia in 10 to 39-year-olds has also tripled between 1988 and 1993. Then, now let's talk about how they become obsessed with food. People with eating disorder are always in the kitchen. Once they get home, they will just go straight to the kitchen because they feel like they have the most control in the kitchen. They also like to other people. They watch what other people eat also, and they want other people to become obsessed with food as much as they are. And because of that, they kind of count other people as well as their own calories. And then more often than not, their eating disorder turns into mental disorders. And a quote from Macbeth says that depression and other mood disorders co-occur quite frequently. So bulimia and depression and also borderline personality disorder might also occur if you have an eating disorder. Then lastly, this point is about the physical and emotional risks involved with having an eating disorder. So one of the main emotional risks is detachment. They become very irritable because they want to control everything, so they're just not as fun to be around. And because of this, they feel like no one likes to be around them, so they become very detached from their family. And because of this, it puts an extreme emotional burden on their family. But they also think that it's they're making it easier because they're becoming detached, but they're really not. And the physical risks are esophagus cancer and tooth decay happen because of the stomach acid coming back up when they're throwing up. And then hair loss happens because they're not getting enough nutrients from their food, and also the stomach acid a little bit too. And then on extreme cases, death can happen. And then this quote is from Sullivan, 1995. For females between 15 to 24 years old who suffer from anorexia nervosa, the mortality rate associated with this illness is 12 times higher than the death rate of other causes of death. Lastly, here are my references. I have Prevalence versus Funding, there's the website, and then I have the Prevalence of Eating Disorders in Middle-Aged Women from Magwell and Hook and all those other people. And then also New Developments in Child and Adolescent Eating Disorders, Journal of the Canadian Academy of Children and Adolescent
psychiatric, and then that is from quarter foot.
And then, so I hope I've persuaded you to be more considerate of people with eating disorders, that they actually have a disordered reality, are obsessed with food, and the physical and emotional risks involved. I wouldn't want someone to have to go through what I had to go through with my sister, and the only thing you can really do is to be very understanding and to get them the treatment they need, because almost always, without professional help, they can't get through this alone. And it is much better to do it earlier rather than later. Thank you. And show yourself.